Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about Meghan's Australian trip. There's a new book that's just come out that's saying that Meghan complained. you can't, seriously, you can't make this stuff up. Meghan complained about not getting paid for the Australian trip. Can you believe this? An explosive new book claims Meghan complained about several details during a Prince Harry's trip during Down Under in 2018, right? Oh man, I'm getting so tired of this. It's just getting ridiculous. Now, the book's called Courtiers, The Hidden Power Behind the Crown, right? And it's by Valentine Lowe. So I had to look up who Valentine Lowe is. Valentine Lowe. I thought it was a girl, but it's a guy. And apparently he worked for the Times in the UK and very well respected newspaper. I looked up the credibility of this, and it looks pretty darn credible. He's been working there for over a quarter of a century. Been reporting on the royal family, etc., etc. Graduated from Oxford University. Worked at the Evening Standard for over 20 years. So this guy's pretty credible. Like, you know, man, just so much stuff's going on, hey. So I thought I'd dissect this. We'll talk a bit about this first. So there's so much to cover. You know, I've written some notes. We're going to get to everything. Right. So an extract from the book, Meghan worked to be portrayed publicly in positive light. Behind the scenes, it was a totally different story. It was a different story, right? Couple visited Australia. Know it very well. I was here. Did a lot of videos on it, and yeah, unfortunately not all up now because YouTube required commentary and I had to take them all down. That's cool. This is why I talk over my videos now. So this is autumn 2018. I'm going to go through a timeline and everything in a minute. Right, so this is back in 2018. Book states that she enjoyed the intention. Meghan failed to understand the point of all these walkabouts, shaking hands with countless strangers. According to several members of staff, she was heard to say on at least one occasion, "I can't believe I'm not getting paid for this." Can you believe this? It just gets worse and worse, doesn't it? So I'm going to run through why I think this is true as well. We'll get to it. The claim is one of a series of scathing revelations made about Meghan in Lowe's story. Lowe also stated that ahead of the couple's engagement, she attempted to make her rival known amongst the palace staff. The book says in spring of 2017, more than 6 months before the couple were engaged, she told one of Harry's advisors, "I think we both know I'm going to be one of your bosses soon." Oh, oh my God. Princess Pushy. In the short snippet shared today, Lowe's selection of accounts are critical of Meghan and her actions are painted in a poor light. And there's Harry looking despondent again. He just looks like a broken man, doesn't he, all the time? Whereas Meghan looks like a little plastic face. The writer asserts that at the start of the relationship, Meghan demands to be officially recognised as a girlfriend. Yeah, because she's just using Harry for just social climber. She can't make any money off of Harry if she's in the background and nobody knows they're dating and all that sort of thing. His writings claim, faced with hordes of journalists intent on trawling through every aspect of Meghan's life, Harry became determined to protect his girlfriend. So there's this tug of war happening. She needs the attention because she wants to monetize this relationship. But Harry's trying to protect her because he saw what happened with the media with his mum, right? So you got this little bit of tug of war happening. This is what I believe. Meghan, meanwhile, told that if he did not do something about it, she would break off the relationship, a source told. She was saying, "If you don't put out a statement confirming I'm your girlfriend, I'm going to break up with you." Harry was in a panic, another source said. He was freaking out, saying, "She's going to dump me." Oh my God. Harry, you had your chance. You could have escaped. Oh my God, you should have just kept her as a side girlfriend. What did Prince Philip say? One does not marry an actress. Explosive bust-ups between the Duchess in her 80s during the royal tour of Australia will focus on the Buckingham Palace bullying probe. The 16-day trip in 2018 is said to have seen a string of clashes between Meghan and the staff. Yeah, we all know about this. At one point, Meghan is claimed to have lost her temper with her assistant and a hot drink was knocked over. A source said the Australian tour is one of the most important in the royal world, but they have long been allegations of rows with staff, and that's highlighted by everyone quitting. If these assistants come forward, it will form the centre of the palace bullying probe. It was a critical time. So here they are. This is on the steps of Sydney Opera House. Been there many, many times. It says Harry's tour, Meghan and Harry's tour lasted 11 days. So this is all courtesy of Getty Images. Right. The allegations include Meghan becoming upset at being given only a wing of the Australian governor's mansion to stay in rather than the entire property. Yeah, we heard about this too. A month after the tour, the couple, first as a royal couple, Meghan's personal assistant, Melissa Tabati, resigned. She was the second member of staff to quit within a year. The couple's former press secretary, Jason Knopf, emailed a senior aide to Prince William to complain. I'm very concerned that Duchess was able to bully two personal assistants out of the household in the past year. At the time, Meghan denied allegations of bullying. All right. So next we're going to move on. So basically, yeah, she's a bully. She's a bully, calculates everything. And what I did is I picked up on, I've got what's the next one? It says Valentine Lowe. So the next one I've got is the transcript from Oprah's interview. So I picked up that when she did the interview, she was talking about streamers. Here we go. Here we go. So Oprah sort of, she was onto him a bit. So Oprah says, so what do you say to the people who say you came here and made these multi-million-dollar deals and you're just money-grabbing royals? So Harry's in on this too. Harry said, first off, this was not the intention, right? Says Oprah. Meghan, yeah. Harry, and we certainly didn't, when we're certainly not complaining, our life is great now. Our life is great now. We've got a beautiful house, I've got a beautiful family and the dogs are really happy. But at the time during COVID, the suggestion by a friend was, what about streamers? And Meghan goes, yeah, we genuinely hadn't thought about that before. Very clever wording, because let's look at the timeline. Let's look at the timeline here. So they're saying that they're giving the impression that they got kicked out, cut off, are all alone, and they had to, use Tyler Perry's house, and nothing was planned, and oh my God, what are we going to do? And somebody suggested we should do some streaming. It's oh my God, wow, that's going to save us. And so Harry's saying we hadn't thought about it, so there were all sorts of different options. And look, from my perspective, all I needed was enough money to be able to pay for security and keep my family safe. All right, so let's look into this. So they're saying that they needed to do all this. There was nothing planned, etc., etc. So I'm going to look at the timeline here. So they got engaged November 2017. All right. Then Royal Tour was, first the wedding was May 2018, then they rushed off to Australia. October 15th, they arrived in 2018. Right, so then they got back to England and things, the shit started hitting the fan basically. And this is when Meghan was saying that she, had suicidal thoughts, and this is what instigated a whole royal exit, the Megxit. Right, things I've noticed here. First, she's saying, "Oh, I was clasping Harry's hand so tightly," and Harry said that when the lights went out, that Meghan was crying, and so to me, this picture looks like Harry's holding back. Right? Not really clutching. And they've gone on about, oh, the knuckles were white. It was clinging so much. But check this out. Meghan's beaming. This is somebody that said, oh, she was suicidal and then she had to go forced to this event. Meghan is blooming beaming. Harry's looking despondent. It looks like they've just had a fight. So this is why I think the whole thing was made up. Just as a little sort of catch point to work on, because she was not getting along with anyone. She was just running through the staff, having conflicts with Kate and William. Then they did the whole Frogmore Cottage thing. They wanted to move out of Kensington Palace and go to Frogmore Cottage now. So this was January 16th, 2019. That's not somebody who looks suicidal to me. Right, seriously. This was the night. This was the famous night at the Royal Albert Hall. That she was meant to be like just hanging on. So was this from Oprah? Let's have a quick look here. So while my wife and I were in those chairs, gripping each other's hands, the moment the lights go down, Meghan starts crying. I'm feeling sorry for her, but I'm also angry with myself that we're stuck in this situation. Rubbish. I think it's rubbish. I cannot find any photos where she's crying. Like, where are we? We've got the photos here. Meghan's beaming. No photo. It looks like Harry's the one that's depressed. I can't see anything here. And we all know that she can cry on cue. So here's the clip, the famous clip, where Meghan brags about how she can cry on cue. So let's just play this. Let's see if this starts up. Very good. It's not starting out. We'll do a reload. Crying on cue. Here we go.
I write my stories here, I take my meetings here, and it's kind of amazing because all over the world, if I'm traveling, Soho House can still be home base.
Now make yourself cry. Yeah. Oh, I can do that so well.
So she goes, I can make yourself cry. Oh, I can do that so well.
Oh my God, it's crazy. You're like, Meghan, 1 tear, left eye, go. Give me 3 seconds.
1 tear, left eye, go. Give me 3 seconds. Crazy. She's manipulating everyone. Come on. So then after all this, I've got the timeline here. So this was January 2019, was Royal Albert Hall. July 2019, she's already planning the Megxit. At the Lion King, this is a famous Lion King premiere. This was on 14th of July 2019. All right. So it's published 15th of July 2019. This is when Harry was talking to the the head of Disney and saying, oh, Meghan does voiceovers, and he's like, oh really? Oh, okay. So this crap about them being all like pushed out and fleeing the royal family and just trying to make ends meet and that sort of thing. Of no plan whatsoever. This was the narrative they were saying. No plan whatsoever. Meanwhile, at every single opportunity, I believe that they got caught out because there was a bit of a hot mic here, and she probably thought that nobody's going to hear this. This is the Lion King premiere, and got caught out. Working on the Disney CEO or whatever he was about doing voiceovers, and famously we know that Meghan got that role voicing a documentary about elephants. All right. There's Omid's Goby. So, to me, it doesn't hold water. Does not hold water that they'll just the whole victim thing. We just don't know what to do, and we're getting cut off. Now, apparently, I heard that the reason why Prince or King Charles now, wasn't taking calls at the time was because every call was just asked for money all the time. And it's like, Charles just got sick of it. He probably said, well, you decided to go and you left Kate and William here to pick up the slack, and well, you've decided this, and off you go. So it was always arguing about things, wasn't she? So then we got the South African tour and the famous interview with a friend and saying, oh, are you okay? And he says, thanks for asking, and no, I'm not really okay, and nobody asked, and all this sort of thing. She's playing the victim there. She's planning on leaving. She's planning on leaving like as soon as she met Harry. She didn't want to be in the royal family. Surely she knew what it was all about. So this South African tour. Just on timeline here. And then January 2020, Megxit occurs. Crazy. So from feeling suicidal, in inverted commas, in July 2019, within less than 5 months, they're out of there. Yeah, so 14th of July 2019 to 8th of January, less than 5 months, she's out of there. Gone. Now, I've got this article here, which is quite good because she did quite a good timeline on this as well. Rightio, because where are we? Here we go. So within 2 years, the entire world seemingly turned against Meghan Markle. These are the events that led to it. We pinpoint the exact moment the tide started to turn against Meghan. This was last year, March 9th, 2021, by Rebecca Sullivan and Jess Puller. So it's got, like it or not, the Duchess of Sussex has quickly risen to become one of the world's most watched women and one of the most divisive. Tell me about it. Royal fans love to fawn over Duchess Meghan's stunning outfits, the adorable photos of his gorgeous son, baby Archie. Well, how many photos have we got? Cannot get enough of the incredible love story with Prince Harry and how much the couple still clearly adore each other. So she goes through and says about having wonderful support and the tide turned. So former Suits actress can no longer escape the intense public backlash towards her every move, as well as the frosty reception received from inside the royal family itself. So how did it happen? How did one of the most adored women in the world become a subject of such vicious tabloid chatter? So here's the timeline she's saying. So there we go. So the engagement, November 2017. And then the wedding. There we go. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, she's getting along with the Queen. This was in June 2018. Blah, blah, blah. Here we go. So, yeah, she's being all polite there. So, here we go. So, she's getting all chummy with the Queen. According to the editor of Majesty magazine, Meghan refers to the Queen as Mama rather than a traditional mom. So, there we go. So, she went through, where is it here? Royal baby. And everything was going great. Going great until they got back from the royal tour around Australia. Here we go. Swift exit from Kensington Palace. This is what I was talking about. This is the exact moment when things started to shift. The Duke and Duchess announced they would be moving out of Kensington Palace, where they currently live next door to the Cambridges and their 3 children, to Frogmore Cottage in Windsor, with a massive multi-million-dollar upgrade. The sprawling 10-bedroom residence, which was gifted to the couple from the Queen, sits within the private home park and looks out on stunning grounds of Frogmore House. Meghan reportedly wants to renovate the property, including a new nursery, a gym, and a yoga studio. Windsor is a very special place for the Royal Highness, and are grateful that the official residence will be on the estate, the Kensington Palace, said in the statement. So the initial plan was for Harry and Meghan to move out of their cottage on the grounds of Kensington Palace and into one of the main apartments, but there's been a bit of tension between the brothers. And wherever Meghan goes, there's tension. So early November 2018, Meghan's tiara tiff with the Queen. A bombshell report from The Sun shed light on Meghan and Harry's supposed tempers leading up to the wedding day. In an astonishing allegation, the Queen was forced to step in and put Meghan and Harry in line after Meghan was told she couldn't wear the original tiara she picked out from the Queen's collection. Meghan had her heart set on this tiara with emeralds, and Prince Harry hit the roof when they were told it was impossible for her to wear it. As the origins of the tiara couldn't be 100% confirmed, and with fears it could have questionable ties to Russia. Wow, I didn't hear this. The Queen apparently would not loan it out, and did not go down well. There was a heated exchange that prompted the Queen to speak to Harry. She said Meghan can't have whatever she wants. She gets what tiara she's given by me, the insider claimed. Adding, the Queen also questioned why Meghan needed a veil for the wedding, given it was her second marriage. The message from the Queen was very much Meghan needed to think about how she speaks to staff members and be careful to follow family protocols. Queen, she's a rock. So sad that she passed away. She was a rock. Everything's going to hit the fan now, I reckon. Late November, why Meghan made Kate cry. So this is interesting because we think it's over the stockings, don't we? Rumours of tension between the two duchesses escalated following reports that Catherine was reportedly left in tears after Meghan's daughter, Princess Charlotte's bridesmaid's dress fitting for Meghan's wedding in May. Well, that does relate to it. So it was more about the tights and the dress fitting. It's unclear exactly what caused the Meghan Duchess to burst into tears, but the Daily Beast claims Kate and Meghan had an argument over Charlotte's dress. So yeah, that would make sense. Dress, tights, all in that sort of area. It wasn't. So yeah, the feuding brothers. So yeah, it just goes on and on. Mid-December 2018, staff turn. It's just turned into a total mess, doesn't it? Deary me. Oh my God. Kate's urgent meeting with the Queen, late December 2018. How long's the video going for? 22 minutes. I won't go through this. What I'll do is I'll leave the link because we're just going over the same ground again, competing Christmas cards. Such a cool article. Runs through everything. But it's going to take too long to get through it all. So I'll just quickly run through. For Christmas. Snub from, so this was early January. Where does this fit into things? All right. Snub from Kate's birthday celebrations. There we go. January 9th. Well, that's interesting. So this was just before she was saying that she was suicidal. January 16th at the Royal Albert. Another aide quits early January. See, the thing with depression that is you self-internalize everything, you get depressed. This is not actions of somebody who's depressed, that she's bullying staff. That's not something a depressed suicidal person does. That's why I think it's total BS. It totally makes more sense that she was bullying. Like, I showed you the photos of Harry, looks like he's just downtrodden and depressed, and Meghan's all glowing. And come on, she's not that good an actress. No. Cambridge Sussexes officially split. I'll leave the link there because this is quite a long article. It will take me probably an hour to go through the whole lot. But leave your comments below, and if you want me to cover anything in specific detail, we'll go into it. But yeah, this is going to take too long. I sort of looked at the article, I didn't realize it was this long. This goes on forever. Quite a good one, quite a good article. I'll leave it in the description. But I think we get the idea. Meghan bullied the staff, and she had to come up with a story of why they had to leave. had to play the victim, that, the media was on their ass, they were getting bullied, nobody liked her, and, the whole victim narrative. And here we are with a right royal mess where every relationship's fractured, and it all points back to Meghan, doesn't it? Anyway, guys, I'm gonna leave it there because, quite honestly, I'm tired of talking about this. I'm tired of trying to convince the sugars that this is how things have panned out. Look at the evidence. Look at what she's been saying. It does not add up with reality. Claiming that they had no support and no plan, nothing. It's like almost like they just got kicked out. She planned this from the start. Was networking. That's why I believe Charles did not allow her to go to that royal reception after the Queen's funeral, and with all the heads of state and everything, or just before the Queen's funeral, wasn't it? The night before, or day before. Because she was just trying to network with all the world leaders. It would have been a total embarrassment. They don't want anything to do with her, and wasn't allowed to be by the Queen's side on a deathbed. And then there was a thing about Harry wanting to visit the Queen one time, and the Queen made out she was busy, and not too sure whether that's true. But I also think that aides told the Queen, don't see her because maybe MI5's something worked out that she's bugging every conversation, and who knows? That'll probably come out in the future as well. Anyway, this video is going way too long. Drill, like, subscribe, share, and I will see you next time. Leave your comments below. Tell me if you want me to elaborate for my next video. I'll see you next time. Cheers.